In the name of God, hello everybody, my name is Mehdi Kordnavasi. In this movie is the fourth movie of the chapter 5. Are we all agreed about the service design part 1, the relationship management process in the ITIL concept? In this movie, I am going to talk about getting friendly with third-party supplier or supplier management. You can't do everything yourself. Sometimes it makes sense to get someone else to do it. However, whenever you get someone else to do something for you, you hope they'll do it to an acceptable standard. This is where you turn the tables. Service management is all about providing a good service to your customer. However, sometimes you are the customers. So what do you expect from your suppliers? If you believe in the philosophy of the customer service, you expect to receive a similar quality of service from your suppliers as you give to your customers. But as with all things to do with service management, you need a clear understanding of an agreement about what you expect from your supplier. Let's continue our discussion with a question. Why outsource? Why do organizations use suppliers to provide part or all of their IT services? Cost. Using supplier may be cheaper for many reasons, such as the economies of scale that a supplier can get from offering the service to many customers. The next is flexibility. If your need for the service is likely to change over time, it's sometimes easier to get a supplier to do it for you. This means you don't have the hassle of employment new staff in the busy times or laying off staff in the less busy time. The supplier can deal with this for you. The third is a risk. Sometimes there are risks associated with doing something yourself, especially if it is something new to your organization. Getting someone else to do it may be a good way of putting your toe in the water without investing a lot of money. And the next one is skills. You may not have or want to have specialist skills in your organization. You often hear companies talking about their core competencies, things they think they are good at that are essential to their business. For everything else, they get a supplier. In ITIL definition, the purpose of the supplier management process are to obtain value for money from supplier and to provide a seamless quality of IT service to the businesses by ensuring that all contracts and agreements with suppliers support the needs of the businesses and that all suppliers meet their contractual commitments. As ITIL definition go, this one is fairly straightforward. First, value for money. Commercial companies are in business to make money. If you ask a supplier to provide a service for you, then I am sure you expect to pay for it. But how much are you prepared to pay? The important thing is to get value for money. And the next is seamless quality of IT service. Your customers aren't interested in seeing the join between the bits that you do and the bits you get someone else to do. One of the most frustrating things you may hear an assistant say when you phone a call center is, "I'm sorry, we can't deliver your goods," or "suppliers has let us down." My reaction to this is, "I don't care. That's your problem. Get it sorted." Or, "Is it just me? You must ensure that the bits that your suppliers provide are integrated into the end-to-end service and are able to contribute the level of service you have agreed with your customer." Defining some supplier management terms. Here, some demystification to help you get to grips with the supplier management process. Supplier. According to the ITIL publications, a supplier is a third party, external to your organization. It's responsible for supplying goods or services required to deliver IT services. Examples of suppliers include commodity, hardware and software vendors, network and telecom providers, and outsourcing organizations. And the next is a supplier and contract management information system, or SCMIS, a set of tools, data, and information about your suppliers and the contracts you have with them. This useful repository for information and data allows you to manage your suppliers and the relationship you have with them. Your supplier management policy drives the actual detail of what you keep in the SCMIS, which is usually all supplier details. Details of contracts. Details of services and products provided by each supplier. A categorization of each supplier and its products, such as commodity, service, or partner. You also come across the word contract or underpinning contract, or UC, in the supplier management process. I covered this in the earlier section on service level management.
Increasingly, companies are leveraging third-party vendors to perform activities on behalf of their organizations. These relationships can offer significant benefits: cost reduction, increased efficiency, and improved quality. However, the trust these companies are putting in third parties could be exposing them to increased fiscal, regulatory, and reputational risk. The only way to mitigate this risk is through an adequate framework, controls, and oversight. Companies need to better understand those who conduct business on their behalf. Do you trust that your vendors have the right framework in place to offer you protection? Natural disasters, cyber attacks, data breaches, corruption, supply chain disruptions, or other unforeseen problems. Is your company ready to navigate the storm if one of these scenarios were to take place? PwC's third-party risk management helps put in place the due diligence needed to safely and responsibly work with third parties, mitigating exposure to risk and improving transparency into vendor controls and activities. PwC offers a comprehensive solution with a flexible company's current environment and identifying ways to increase efficiency and effectiveness of your TPRM program, developing a risk stratification process to identify potential risk associated with vendors, assisting in the implementation and operation of effective TPRM activities, which include the framework for policies, procedures, processes, and control, establishing governance and reporting processes for your TPRM program. PwC's depth and breadth of experience can help shepherd your company through the process of putting safeguards in place. You can outsource functions and operations, but you can't outsource risk and compliance responsibilities. Don't leave yourself exposed to the risk posed by third parties.
Looking at the activities of supplier management, supplier strategy and policy. Having a policy for when you use a supplier and when you do a task yourself is sensible. Your policy can be as simple as all application development is done by a supplier, all wide area networks are done by a supplier, everything else we do ourselves. Here are some other areas of strategy and policy that you should address. Should we have a preferred supplier list? Who is responsible for managing suppliers? How do we ensure that all contracts are legally sound? Definition of new supplier and contract requirement. Let's have evaluating new suppliers and contracts. Welcome to the whole world of procurement. You may use other words in your organization, but I am referring to the process of identifying potential suppliers, getting their interests, and then evaluating and selecting the appropriate suppliers. This is often called the invitation to tender or ITT process. Your organization may already have its own method of procurement for all purchasing, not just IT. In fact, some industry sectors impose regulations on how to procure. Remember, you must have a consistent way of fairly assessing all potential new suppliers and services to ensure you select the ones that can best provide the service you need and best match your organization. This stage also included the contract negotiations with the prospective suppliers. This, of course, must be done with care and honesty to ensure that both parties enter into a successful and mutually beneficial relationships. Establishing new suppliers and contracts. When engaging in new suppliers, ensure you assess and record any risks. Carry out checks on the supplier's past performance and its financial status. Once the contracts are signed, you add the supplier to your SCMIS. or Supplier and Contract Management Information System. Depending on the type of supplier, you may perform other activities in the service transition stage to ensure that the supplier's service is integrated into your IT service. For example, network suppliers connecting their equipment to yours, and infrastructure outsourcer transferring your data to its systems. In some cases, the supplier may need regular access to your building, in which case you must familiarize them with your ways of working. Supplier, contract, and performance management. Regularly measure and report on the performance of your suppliers to provide factual evidence that they're providing the service as agreed, and to enable you to spot any issues in time to do something about them. Hold regular performance reviews or meetings with your suppliers, similar to those you hold with your customers, to review service performance against targets, any incidents or problems, any changes or issues expected in the forthcoming period, and any improvements plans, contract renewal or termination. All good things come to an end, and so might your contracts. Contracts are rarely open-end, but may need renewing. The SCMIS tells you the end dates or renewal dates for all your contracts, and you can use the information to help you plan what to do when the contracts run out. The obvious choices are renew or terminate. However, you can also take the opportunity to renegotiate the contract to take into account any business changes.
Supplier performance management is becoming increasingly important to optimally manage lifecycle costs of complex technology solutions found in energy and manufacturing operations. Some examples of these solutions are control and production management, asset lifecycle, and supply chain management systems. The total cost of ownership of a system includes the initial purchase price plus the long-term support and upgrade costs. ARC research indicates that often the support and upgrade costs of a solution can be more than 4 times the initial purchase cost. When you buy a new technology solution, you generally invest significant time and resources to make sure you buy exactly what you need. ARC research has found that many companies do not have a good process to ensure they receive good value for support and upgrade costs for technology solutions. Supplier relationships are often so intimate that they are characterized as an alliance or partnership. This intimacy makes relationship management even more challenging. ARC recommends that you have a formal supplier performance management process to help eliminate contention and deliver a fact-based, unbiased, and objective evaluation of supplier performance. As part of this process, you need to provide clearly defined performance metrics to your technology solution suppliers. These performance metrics must be agreed upon with the supplier at the time of system purchase. ARC's STAR Supplier Performance Management solution helps you develop and manage a set of metrics and key performance indicators for evaluating supplier performance. STAR SPM is a menu-driven solution that is designed to allow your team to clearly define what you need and expect from a service provider. The solution guides you, step by step, through the metric data collection and performance evaluation processes.
The menu takes you from the overall business goals through specific performance goals and onto selection of the correct metrics to meet those goals. Star SPM comes with a set of metrics for your use. It also has the ability for you to define additional metrics. This ensures that you can closely align your SPM program with your suppliers with mutually agreed upon metrics. Plants or facilities where the supplier is providing you the services are the source of the performance metric measurements. Star SPM solution allows you to support as many sites as you need to ensure that the supplier assessment is accurate and complete. A good partnership relies on both partners coming together to support common goals. ARC's Supplier Scorecard provides an ideal focal point for tracking and enhancing your relationship value over time. It delivers a fact-based, unbiased set of metrics that enable fair and productive communications with the supplier concerning their services and deliverables. The Supplier Scorecard makes it easier to have more meaningful discussions with your partners to improve future performance and maximize relationship value. A Master Star SPM workbook spawns the plant workbooks where the metric measurements are collected. These plant-level workbooks are then systematically collected and combined to form a corporate scorecard. Areas for improvement as well as areas of success are easily identified. These areas can be documented so that both you and your supplier know exactly what is expected and what the next steps are. For companies with many plants, often more than one supplier may provide the same services at different sites. Star SPM solution allows a convenient way for you to combine all suppliers at all your plant sites using the same performance metrics. The suppliers are shown in a side-by-side comparison chart that can be used for your internal review of all your suppliers. In addition, each supplier is provided with an alias identity so that you can use this as part of your discussion with your suppliers as needed. For you to get a good return on investment in technology solutions, you must manage the support and upgrade costs effectively. ARC Star Supplier Performance Management tool can help you manage and lower your support and upgrade costs. For more info on this,
Supplier categorization and maintenance of the SCMIS. Not all suppliers are equal. Some short more management time and effort than others. The clever bit is knowing which you handle in what way. Here are some typical categories for your suppliers. First, strategic categorization, the sort of thing negotiated and managed by senior managers in your organization, like major network provisions that's integrated with your service, needed frequent communication. The next is tactical categorization, usually managed by middle managers in the organization, includes support contracts for hardware and software, and needs regular communication and performance review. Third categorization is operational. Products and services like internet access and non-critical website hosting. This needs regular contracts, but less often than of tactical suppliers. And the last categorization is commodity. Generally, low-value stuff like paper or printer cartridges. Contacts is and when required. Okay, thank you for watching this movie. In the next movie is the last part of the chapter 5 about the design coordination. Thank you.